everyone, welcome back to my channel and my craft table. Today's craft is relatively short and sweet. I am actually doing something, it's a little late in the year for it, but I want to go ahead and do it while it's on my mind, and then I'll have it for next year. So this box right here, well, it held a bunch of Sharpies. What I decided to do is create a Cricut classroom craft kit. Now this would also be good if you don't have a classroom like me. This would be a great travel kit if you're someone who likes to craft on the go, or you like to go do crafting at friend's house or church or whatever. So anyway, I created a few things in Design Space and I want to put them on here. So let's go ahead and get started.
All right, so here I am in Design Space. Now I've already brought up a blank canvas and I've already went to save and made a name for it. And I just typed Cricut Classroom Craft Kit. Now a little tip, down here in the bottom of the layers panel, there's usually some little banner of some information from Cricut themselves. And if you're ever interested in just hiding that for a moment, you can come over here and click the little X, and then that banner goes away and you have your full layers panel. Right here, I actually have the group of the items that we're going to do on Canvas today. And let me zoom out for you. These are relatively simple images that I just got in Design Space, but I want to show you a few things that I've done to manipulate them and change some of the things about them to make them easier to put on my craft. So I just have this over here as a reference in case we need it, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and hide that. All right, one of the first things that I like to do is I like to go in and I like to bring in a shape. I'm going to close this side panel, and then I'm going to come up here to the size options. I'm going to unclick the lock, and I want to change this to 7 wide and 3 tall. So this is the front side or the long side of my little box. Then I'm going to lock it back so it doesn't change. And then I'm going to come over here to the operation menu. I'm going to click on the arrow to get the menu to drop down for me. And I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, click on guide, and then this changes to a hot pink outline. So this right here is the side panel of my box. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to duplicate this, and I want to make a box that represents the ends of the plastic box I'm working with. So I'll come back up to the lock, unlock it. Let's do 4 wide, and I'm going to lock that back. Okay, so now I have a guide. So this will represent the ends, and this will represent the long side. All right, so the next thing we need are our images. So I'm going to go in here to images, and I actually have already bookmarked them for time, but you could also just search whatever you want right here in the search bar. So I'll go ahead and click on bookmarked. These are the images right here that I have. I've already bookmarked them for this project, so I'm just going to one by one bring them into my canvas. So I'll click on the scissors, the weeding tool, the little Cricut cutie, the scraper tool, I'm so crafty I sweat glitter, another little Cricut cutie, and then a hot glue gun. Once I have all of these in on my canvas, I'm going to close the sidebar, and then I need to start making these smaller. So I'm going to bring this one pretty small, and I'm just going to kind of move it over there. This one here, I'm going to just make that smaller, move it over there. Same thing here, same thing with this one. And I've got my scissors, that will definitely need to come down smaller. And then I'm going to take my weeding tool and I'm going to hover around the corner and then click and rotate. And I'm going to take that all the way up to 270. If I was going the other way, I would go 90. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to bring this up to the top here. So on one of the sides, I will be using this layout, and I do still need to size these correctly. On one of the ends, I will have this image. Go ahead and size that down a little bit. I think that's good. Okay, so I'll be manipulating this one for sure. And then I'm going to bring this little Cricut cutie over here. And again, I will just be sizing that. And how I'm sizing it is I'm clicking and dragging the corner until I like the size proportion for the shape to represent the end of my box. Okay, and I think I'm good with that. So I'm going to bring this down here. I'm going to double check this one. I probably could make this one just a little bit bigger. Let me bring all of these down. I'm going to be working with this Cricut cutie right here. Okay, so one of the first things I want to do is I'm going to go ahead, for design purposes only, I'm going to change this one to green. That way I know what it's going to look like on my box. Now I want to come over to text, click on text, and I'll get a word. I will bring that word right up here. I'm going to double click on that word and I'm going to say Cricut. I'm going to click off of it and then you'll see how this is selected. I'm going to come over here to the font menu, click on the down arrow. Let me go to recent. Okay, once I go to recent, I'm going to use this BFC Foxy. Now it is an access font, so if you don't have access, you'll need to look for a font like this that doesn't have a green A in the top corner. I do pay for Cricut Access, so I'm just going to choose that font because that is the one I want to work with today. So I'm going to come over here to Basic Operation and I'm going to click on the box. And I'm going to go to black and then I'm going to resize this down just a little bit. Now that I have this selected one more time, I'm going to come over to my layers panel and I'm going to click on duplicate. And I'm actually going to duplicate it one more time. And I'm going to bring this and this into position. And then I'm going to still work with them a little bit more. So the second row, I'm going to double click and then I'm going to change this to classroom. And then right here, I'm going to double click on that and I'm going to change this to kit. And then I'm actually going to click on kit again because I forgot the word craft and a space. Okay, so now I have my 3 lines of text and I want to hold down my shift key and I'm going to select all of them. So all 3 of these lines of text are selected and I'll come over to a line and I will go to align left and then I want to go and click on align again and I want to do distribute vertically and it just kind of evens this out. Then I'm going to go ahead and I want to weld that. Next, I want to take these 3 lines of my words. I want to click and drag the corner and I want to just size that down until I like the way that looks. And I think that's about right. And then I'm going to come over to the little cutie and I'm going to size him up just a little bit. I want to grab both of them. I want to go to align. I want to align to the bottom. I'm going to come over here to the layers panel and I'm going to click on group. Now, if I move it around, it's together and I don't have to worry about it. So just to recap, the little cutie is 1 cut file. The Cricut Classroom Craft Kit, it was 3 lines of text. I changed the text to what I wanted, resized it. I welded it together so that it is now a cut file. I don't have to worry about attaching the letters. It is a cut file. So there's one thing. We're going to bring these guys back in and these are going to be sitting on this side. I'm going to get them situated into their position and then I'm going to start resizing them. The weeding tool, I can make that 6 inches long. Then as far as the glue gun, I'm going to bring this up. That looks about right. I want the scraper tool a little bit smaller. I'm going to put that in the middle. Now my scissors need to be larger. I'm going to make the scissors white. I'm going to click on each one of these individually, go to the operation menu, click on the color box and check white and do that for all of these images. All right, so this is what it's going to look like on my box. The only thing I need to do in this particular setup is I need to grab the glue gun. I'm going to bring it down here so we can see it. And I'm going to duplicate the glue gun. Then I'm going to come down here into the bottom of the layers panel and I'm going to click on contour. And then the only thing I want from here is the heart of the glue gun. Can either click on hide all layers, then I can select the heart and then get rid of the glue gun. So only the heart is going to show, or I can just click on each of the elements that I do not want to see and they all turn into a light gray and the dark gray is what will show. Go ahead and click on that. So next I want to turn this into red. So I'll go to the color box and I'm going to click on red and then this time I'm going to bring this over and this is really just for visual purposes. I'm going to slide the red heart over the white one. Now this is all going to cut out in white. And then I'm going to have this heart will cut out in red, but when I place it on the box, I'm going to use the red heart right here instead of the white one. So let's go ahead and grab all of these little items here. So I have all 4 of them selected. I'm going to go ahead and group those. Then I've got my little heart here, this stuff here on the right side. Everything in here is ready to go. I'm going to select all of it and just kind of move it off to the side out of the way. Next, I just want to come over here to the guide that represents the end of the box. So let's talk about this little image here. I'm going to go ahead and change it to white. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. And while this one is still selected, I'm going to go down to contour. And now this is a lot of stuff to get rid of. So I'm going to do hide all contours and see this first box up here is dark gray. So that's the only one showing. If I click on these 2 hearts, they'll turn dark gray. And then I can come up here to this box, click on it, and it becomes light gray. So the only thing that's going to show now are the red, or these little hearts, and I'm going to make them red. So I'll click on the box. I'll come up to my color selector, click on red, and these would slide right over here. That's where they would go. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on the big image again. I'm going to come down to contour, and this time I'm going to get rid of hearts. I don't need extra hearts, so I'm going to go ahead and click off of them, and then I will grab both of these images. I'm going to go ahead and group them, and then I'm just going to move them out of the way. Finally, we have this one, and I'm going to duplicate it. Now I'm going to be using 2 different vinyls for this one. First one, I'm going to go ahead and change it to like a gray. That's going to represent some silver shimmer vinyl that I have. And I want to click on contour. I want to go through and I want to get rid of all of the letters. Just clicking on each one of these one at a time. Okay, I think I have all of them. I will click on the X, and now I just have the silver little sparkles. Then I will come over to the main image again, but this time I want to turn it into pink. Okay, so I have all this. I'm going to get rid of all of the sparkles except for this top one right here and this one right here. And I'm going to use those like little registration marks. And what that means is basically I'll line up these silver ones on top of those pink ones. And that way I'll know that all of these sparkles that are here are in the exact same spot that they need to be. I'm going to go ahead and click on contour, and then this one I'm keeping and this one I'm keeping, but I'm going to get rid of all of the other sparkles because I don't need these in the pink. Now you could do this all one color and not have to do what I'm doing. You could do a bunch of different colors. It really is up to you. Got all of the letters, and then I've got this sparkle up here and this sparkle here. That looks good. Close it. I'll pick this up with transfer tape, and then I'll lay it on top of this one, and I'll line up those 2 little sparkle stars right here, just like that. And then I will put all of this onto the box at one time. So it's just a nice little way to help get everything lined up the way it needs to be. Select both of them and then hit group. So we've got 2 different ends and we've got 2 different sides. Okay, now that I have all of these ready, I'm going to just show you can click on your make screen. And when you do that, it's going to bring everything in and it's going to sort it by color. I can just configure these by moving them around. Okay, you can even turn an image. So I'm going to just rotate it by clicking on that little turn icon right here and move that around. So really it just will be up to you as to how you want them configured on your mat. You do want the matte load type. I'm not doing iron-on, so I don't need to do mirror. Here is my gray one, which is the silver. This will be black. You can see Cricut Classroom Craft Kit. It's all one image. All of the letters are where they need to be. Then I've got my hearts. Now, both of those little cut files, those fit inside a 1x1 box. So you could put them side by side. You could bring them down a little bit. Kind of depends on what you want to do. Then I've got the pink layer. And again, you can just see the 2 pink sparkles that I'm going to be using to line everything up. And then I have the Cricut Cutie. So everything's ready to go. All of these are adhesive vinyl. Okay, so if I were to click on continue, I would just go through all of the prompts. I would be selecting adhesive vinyl, permanent, and default pressure, And then I would hit continue and just go through the prompts on the screen to put all of the colors through the Cricut and let it cut them all out. All right, let's head over to the overhead camera and start getting everything put together.
I actually have a variety of materials. So the white, the red, and the black is the Cricut Joy Extra Smart Vinyl. These here are just my regular vinyl sheets that I had in my stash. So I have regular transfer tape here. I do have rubbing alcohol so I can clean the outside of the box. I have scissors, a weeding tool. And then before I do this, I have to show you something, and I'm a little embarrassed to show you, but I kind of feel like it's important that crafters share public service announcements. I absolutely love my Cricut brayer. This thing is one of the most important things in my craft room, and I'm going to be getting another one actually for my classroom craft kit. I always seem to forget that this right here should be cleaned off every once in a while. It gets a lot of dust. Sometimes it gets, ink if I've been printing a lot, doing a lot of print and cut or whatever. And I noticed it was dirty, so I grabbed my rubbing alcohol, I cleaned it. I'm so embarrassed, but I have to show you. This is what came off my brayer. I'm going to make it a point to clean my brayer every day that I craft. Just a little PSA. Check your brayer, make sure it's clean and free of debris and or ink of any kind. Let's go ahead and get some things weeded. So we're going to put stuff on all four sides. I have a cute little design for this. So in Design Space, I just searched for Cricut. I'll go ahead and link this project. You can change classroom to like car kit or travel kit or grandma's house, like whatever works for you if you're wanting to recreate this. So anyway, I will put the Design Space link down in the description like I always do. I had just basically searched for Cricut, and then all the little Cricut things came up. Found this little guy. This is one of my most favorite little Cricut cutie guys. And then with this black, I'm going to cut down all the excess. Okay, so now I'm just going to weed this out, and let's see how this Cricut Smart Vinyl weeds. It is thicker because it is matless. I do like that. Like, I don't think that any of this is big enough. I really think it's best to go ahead and cut off a piece of transfer tape. Okay, so we've got our little Cricut cutie here, and then this one. Okay, so we're just gonna peel off this carrier sheet. Next, I will get this on there. I'm gonna burnish this down, and then I will do the same on the other side. While I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and get this one, get the transfer tape all ready to go. And I'll do this side. Okay, and then I'm going to be bringing this in, and I do want to clean this one more time. Okay, just to make sure that everything is good and clean. Clean all the sides. I think I might be the weirdest person on the planet because I don't mind the scent of rubbing alcohol. Is it just me, or is that normal? I don't know. I just find it comforting because I guess I grew up with parents in the medical field, so. So it does weed really well. The carrier sheet is super, super thick. I think I have an idea for the next piece that I do to help with that. And I wish I had thought about it prior, but I'm just gonna fix this little C right here and get this, there we go, perfect. All right, and then we'll go ahead and get this one. Okay, so now I'm just going to place this here. Okay. Okay, burnish that down really good. And then we'll pick that up. Beautiful. Then we're going to get this guy lined up. Burnish that down. Oops, that one came up too soon. There we go. Sometimes going in a slightly different direction is a little helpful. Okay, so here's the first side. We have another side. I'm just going to basically be going around. I'm going to go ahead and again cut off the excess vinyl. This has a nice long strip. This smart vinyl carrier sheet is really, really thick. So my thought is to just kind of loosen it up a little bit. And I don't know if this is helpful. If you've used the smart vinyl and you know the trick, that would be great. These are some little hearts. I actually won't be using transfer tape for that. So I'm going to pull this off. And I'm sorry this is white on white. So this is another little Cricut cutie. And the cutie is hugging a Cricut machine. I'm going to weed out all these little pieces. Hopefully I will be able to remember to take this to my classroom in the fall. But my thought was with this particular project is that I would have, you know, all the little tools like a weeding tool, tweezers, scissors, all the things. Okay, so being a geometry teacher, this year I tried some things for the very first time, and we made a 3D city model of Seattle with our students for our surface area volume unit. So it's high school, and you know, worksheets just get so boring. I'm sorry, but they do. I decided this year that I wanted to try out having them, instead of just doing formulas and stuff, this is toward the end of the year. We thought it would be fun to have them actually interact with real world, you know, of the formulas themselves. And it's been phenomenal. And I took my Cricut, my little Joy. So my Joy is up at my classroom. My Joy Extra and my Maker 3 are here. And they had the best time. But I found I had to constantly take my Cricut tools to school and then bring them home again. So I thought it would be very good to create a classroom Cricut kit for myself. That, I need to do an overlap up there. Okay, so I'm hoping that having bent up the carrier sheet of the vinyl, that it made it a lot less stiff. Again, if you have any tricks, that would be amazing. If you can just drop me some suggestions down in the comments, I would love it. Okay. That was a little better. I'm going to fix that little eye. Okay, not too bad. I'm going to bring this in. And this time I'm going to put it on one of the ends. And we're just going to place that right in here and burnish this down. Okay, there we go. I do see one microscopic spot where I did not weed something out. I'm going to grab that really fast. Okay, this is the second side. So side 1 and side 2. All right, so this particular sheet here is 3 tools. Well, actually 4. So I've got a pair of scissors. I have a weeding tool, a little scraper tool, and then I have a glue gun. And I just picked a basic pair of scissors. I wanted simple. And then we have our little glue gun. Speaking of glue guns, I tell you what, if you have not had the pleasure of working with high schoolers when they are using glue guns, you are missing out, my friends. They love to go through the hot glue. They are definitely not frugal crafters. So this here, well, I'm gonna put it like this, and then I think I'll grab this extra little piece. As long as your transfer tape overlaps, you're good. Okay, look at that. I did a lot of bending. I also cut it kind of close to the design. Look at that, it came right up. Okay, maybe I'm onto something. Burnishing really, really well and really bending the heck out of that carrier sheet. This is my third side. This is just long, and I thought that would be perfect for a weeding tool. I'm just gonna lay that down. And then we'll pull this up. Beautiful. That did so much better than what I was doing earlier. This is my scissors. Here is my glue gun, and bend these up really, really good. And the vinyl is not wrinkling or anything, so that's a good thing. This, I think this is perfect for our little scraper tool. Okay, let's see if this one will play nicely. All right, okay, nice. I just had to get it started. So I'll bring this in, and here's my little scraper tool, and I'm just gonna stick it right down in here, just like that, and pull this up. And then my little glue gun, I'm gonna put right here. That comes off, and then here's my little heart, and I'm just gonna place this on here like a sticker. That would be the easiest. Perfect. That works great. And we have our scissors here. So tell me down in the comments, do you only craft at home, or do you sometimes craft in other places? And if you do you have like a little to-go crafting kit? I am very interested to know that, right? Okay, so I think I'll do the scissors this way. Okay. So there is side 3, love it. All right, and then side 4 is just fun. So this is just a bunch of little sparkles. So cute. Love the sparkles, but y'all know me, glitter is my favorite. This one here is my rose vinyl reveal. I love this little saying. I think I need to make like a bigger sign for my craft room, but it says, "I'm so crafty, I sweat glitter." And you guys all know how much I love glitter and sparkle and all of that. So I thought it was perfect, and it's just fun. Okay, so the original SVG had all these, these sparkles. And so I thought that I don't have any glitter adhesive. At least I don't think I do. So I thought it would be fun to use the silver as like the sparkles. And then, okay, that'll work perfect. And then the rest would be pink or the rose colored. So I'm going to put the silver sparkles down on this transfer sheet. The transfer tape. And what I did, I'll fix that little one in a second. But what I did is there's 2 of these little sparkles that I left in pink. And then here they'll line up. And that way I knew exactly where I would line up the design so that all of the sparkles would lay down where they're supposed to. And then I'll probably put that one just somewhere. Okay, so burnish. Same with the other side. And then pull this up. Great. Bring this back in, and then this is going on the other end. So then I'm going to put this about right here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off. Oh, I went too fast. So Jen needs to slow down. There we go. All right, and then I hate to waste some pretty rose gold vinyl. I'm going to put it right down here. There we go. So look at that. That looks great. It's not quite glittery, but it's definitely sparkly. Okay, so this is again side 1, side 2, side 3, and side 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and put some things in here. And I think that I'm probably going to go to the Dollar Tree and pick up like quite a few of their, Cricut knockoff tools because, kids can do some cricketing. This is just some cheap little craft glue, a little notepad. I have a bunch of these wax tip tools, a smaller scraper tool, some of that tacky putty stuff that you like to put posters on the wall, my older bone folder, a couple of pens, and a pencil. I'm going to put a nail file in here simply because I might break a nail. A Dollar Tree weeding tool. I do have 2 pairs of Cricut scissors, but I'm going to go ahead and get some craft scissors and then bring these back home. But I do have some more tweezers, but again, I'll probably not put my expensive tools in here because of kids, right? I have some washi tape rolls, a retractable measuring tape, Okay, so that I think is a good start, and I'll just keep adding to it. And then when I go back to school, I will have a classroom Cricut craft kit. And there we go. Okay, well, I hope you found this craft to be helpful and inspiring to come up with creative ways to not only reuse things in your home, but creative ways to store craft supplies and even create kits that you can use to make your crafting life easier. You could even do kits like this where it's like a sewing kit or like a card making kit, a vinyl kit, etc. So I just think something like this has endless possibilities. So thank you again for spending your time with me, and don't forget, like, share, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Love to have you here. And until I see you in the next card or craft, as always, have an amazing day and happy crafting.
Thank you all so much for watching today. I'm so glad that you can join me at my craft table. If you're not already, I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you'll know when new videos arrive. Have a great day, and as always, happy crafting.